Have you ever wondered how secure our seas are, especially when it comes to piracy? Maritime security, it's a term that encompasses a broad range of challenges, from territorial disputes to illegal fishing, and most notably, piracy. The waters off the Somali coast have been a hotbed for piracy, a problem that international forces have worked tirelessly to curb. But with changing global scenarios and new threats emerging, the focus of the naval forces has been diverted, creating potential gaps that could be exploited. And now, let us delve into a recent event that brought this issue back into the spotlight. Just a few days ago, 2 vessels were hijacked off Somalia's coast. This incident, while alarming, isn't an isolated event, but part of a bigger global problem. These vessels, both Iranian-flagged, were navigating the waters off the Somali coast, an area previously known as a hotbed for piracy. The crews aboard these ships found themselves in a dire situation, their vessels commandeered by pirates. Fear and uncertainty would have been their constant companions as they sent out distress messages into the ether, an SOS beacon in the vast expanse of the sea. But as luck would have it, these signals were not lost. They were picked up by the Indian Navy, a force known for their courage and commitment to maintaining peace and security on the high seas. Upon receiving these distress signals, the Indian Navy did not hesitate, they did not falter. They understood the gravity of the situation and the lives that were at stake. Responding to the calls for help, the Indian Navy mobilized their resources. Their mission was clear: intercept the hijacked vessels and ensure the safe release of the crew members. This was no easy task, given the perilous nature of the waters and the unpredictable behavior of the pirates. But the Indian Navy, trained to handle such crises, was undeterred. The operation that followed was a testament to the Indian Navy's prowess and determination. They successfully intercepted the hijacked vessels, ensuring the release of the crew members. The ships were then allowed to continue their journeys, a sense of normalcy returning after the harrowing ordeal. In the face of danger, the Indian Navy sprung into action. Their swift and decisive response not only saved lives, but also sent out a strong message to pirates that any threat to maritime security will not be taken lightly. With lives at stake, the Indian Naval Forces launched a daring rescue operation. The stakes were high, and time was of the essence. This was not just a mission, it was a race against time, a battle of wits and strategy, a demonstration of courage and determination. The Indian Navy, renowned for its prowess and strategic acumen, was alerted to the distress signals from 2 hijacked vessels off the coast of Somalia. Without a moment's hesitation, they began their operation. The mission was clear: intercept the vessels, neutralize the threat, and ensure the safety of the crew members. The hijacked vessels were Iranian-flagged, stranded in the treacherous waters, their crew held captive by ruthless pirates. The Indian Naval Forces, trained for such high-risk operations, swiftly sprung into action. Navigating through the turbulent waves and the shadowy threats lurking beneath the surface, the Navy intercepted the first vessel. With a seamless blend of skill and bravery, they managed to overpower the pirates. The crew members, held hostage, were released unharmed. The sigh of relief, however, was short-lived. There was another vessel to save. The second operation unfolded in a similar vein. The Indian Naval Forces, undeterred by the challenges, intercepted the second vessel. Their strategy was effective, their actions swift. The pirates were once again neutralized and the crew members set free. In the end, both vessels were allowed to continue their journeys. The crew members, no doubt shaken but safe, could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Their ordeal was over, thanks to the valiant efforts of the Indian Naval Forces. But even as the rescued vessels sailed away into the horizon, the reality of the situation was hard to ignore. The rescue operation was a success, but the threat of piracy still loomed. The waters off the Somali coast, once a hotbed for piracy, echoed the chilling reminder that the danger was far from over. While the crews were safe and the ships were back on their course, the incident raised serious concerns. The waters off the Somali coast once a hotbed for piracy, had been relatively calm, thanks to the vigilance of international naval forces. But with the focus now shifted towards the Red Sea, due to the escalating threats from the Houthi rebel group, there's an ominous cloud of fear that pirates may seize this opportunity to exploit the gap in patrols. This isn't the first time the Indian Navy had to intervene in such matters. Just earlier in the month, Indian Navy commandos pulled off a heroic rescue operation, saving 21 crew members from a Liberian-flagged ship that fell victim to a pirate attack. Each incident, each distress call raises a chilling question. Are we witnessing a resurgence of piracy in these waters? The recent attacks seem more opportunistic than a well-planned resurgence. But even opportunistic attacks can spiral into a larger issue if left unchecked. The absence of a formidable naval presence might just provide the pirates with the confidence they need to stage a comeback. The Indian Navy, along with their French and American counterparts, have also been providing assistance to vessels under threat in the Red Sea, like the tanker that was set ablaze after being hit by a Houthi-fired missile. Their prompt response has undoubtedly saved countless lives, but it's a stark reminder of the volatile situation at sea. The question remained, was this a one-off event or a sign of things to come? Only time will provide a definitive answer, but it's clear that the stakes are high and the safety of those at sea hangs in the balance. These incidents serve as a stark reminder of the importance of maritime security. Our oceans, once considered a realm of tranquility and peace, have become a stage for acts of piracy and threats to international commerce. The recent hijacks off the coast of Somalia underscore the persistent challenges that mariners face in these waters. Yet, they also highlight the remarkable capabilities and resolve of our naval forces, as exemplified by the swift and successful rescue operations carried out by the Indian Navy. In just 36 hours, 2 hijacked vessels were freed, lives were saved, and a clear message was sent to those who threaten maritime peace. Our seas are not lawless voids. These waters are under the watchful gaze of committed, capable navies ready to respond to distress calls at a moment's notice. But let's not forget that these successes do not diminish the ongoing challenge of ensuring maritime security. Piracy, as we've seen, is an opportunistic crime. It thrives in the gaps left by global attention, exploiting vulnerabilities and capitalizing on the vastness of the oceans. The waters off the Somali coast were once a hotbed for piracy, curbed only through the concerted efforts of international forces. The recent attacks suggest that vigilance in these waters must be maintained, even as new threats emerge elsewhere. This calls for international cooperation. The seas are shared spaces, and their security is a shared responsibility. The Indian Navy's rescue operations were supported by French and US naval ships, showing that when it comes to maritime security, no nation stands alone. Together, we can create a safety net that spans our vast oceans, a network of vigilance that leaves no room for piracy. Our seas may be vast, but with vigilance and cooperation, we can ensure they remain